Hi, I'm Alex, and I am the owner and founder of Fitter Bodied Ladies. We are a ladies-only boutique fitness gym, and we currently have 15 locations across the UK. We started the gym 10 years ago now in Northampton, when I was coming back from a weight loss journey of my own. Because I wanted to work out in an environment where I didn't feel intimidated, and I wanted to be around women who were like-minded and of a similar age. And so specifically our Fitter Body Ladies works with ladies who are over the age of 30 who've tried every diet in the book, because I have definitely, and are looking for a place where they can work out, learn about food, work on their mindset, and enjoy getting back into the gym. So we've thought that we would start a podcast because, having worked with ladies now over the last 10 years, we have a lot of stories to share and a lot of tips, techniques, support that we can potentially give ladies out there who are also looking to maybe begin their journey or already on their weight loss or fitness or well-being journey. So today I'm joined by Sarah. Hi. And I'm joined by Monet, who are both coaches at Fitter Body Ladies in Northampton. And over the podcast, or throughout the podcast, we are going to share our own journeys of weight loss. All three of us have had one. We are going to invite members into the podcast to talk to them, because we've got a lot of people there, a lot of ladies there who have also had their own experience of losing weight, getting fitter, being part of Fitter Body Ladies, and most importantly, talk about some of the funny things that, the myths that are out there, the things that go on in the gym that we laugh and joke about, and look at it from a point of view of, I suppose, women who are, maybe haven't done anything for a long time, or are restarting their journey, or are looking to begin a journey, whether that's a weight loss journey, as I said, or a fitness journey, or a well-being journey, whatever that is, and have some fun while we're doing it. Because I think if you can make things fun along the way, firstly, it makes it easier to stick to, but also, learning from others' examples or others' mistakes can definitely help and support you. So firstly, my journey. I have two children. They're now grown-up teenagers, 16 and 14. And during both of my pregnancies, I thought that I could basically eat what I wanted, and spent my life, all those days, or especially towards the end, eating a lot of cake, and thinking that it was fine because I was pregnant. And, you can eat more calories when you're pregnant because you got a baby in there, and you've got to keep that baby, growing. Mine definitely did grow. They weren't particularly big when they were born, but they definitely grew once afterwards, and I had grown with them. So at the end of both of my pregnancies, I put on 4 stone. In fact, I'd probably put on more with my daughter. So I remember thinking, after I'd given birth to her, bloody hell, I'm enormous, and I felt awful. I felt just grossly overweight. I was jiggly and wobbly, and as much as everybody goes, oh, you've just had a baby, I was like, I am not enjoying this. I'd already done a weight loss journey before that pregnancy with my son, so I was like, this is not how I should be feeling, or I want to be feeling. And I was thinking to myself as well, my husband must be looking at me thinking, you are gross, because I felt pretty gross. And as much as it, that we all say, oh, you've had a baby yet, I didn't want to feel like that for very long. So I remember 3 weeks after having my daughter, I went to Weight Watchers. That was how I first began that specific journey. And I weighed in at like 14 stone. And I remember walking out after 3 weeks of giving birth, thinking that I've got to get on this. 14 stone felt like an enormous mountain to climb. So I began with walking and just trying to track. Okay, so for me, Weight Watchers worked the first time. The second time, it didn't work. I couldn't get onto it. I couldn't get. So I just started writing everything down, just writing it all down, just seeing what I was doing. I was aware of calorie counting, and by that point, I think my fitness pal had probably was starting to kind of come to fruition. Apps and things were kind of beginning, and I was writing everything down and putting it into. I remember actually it was actually on a computer. I don't think it was on an app. It was computer based. You could track what was going on and things like that. I think that was about then. It's a long time ago now. And I just remember just weighing in each week and thinking, okay, it's £1, £2, da 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 da. And it took me a year to lose 3 stone with purely walking and kind of like just watching what I was eating. I wasn't restrictive. I was just watching what I was eating and being more aware of it. So I got down to about 11 stone something. And then I was like, I wanted to get to that 10 stone mark. And so Georgina would have been really about 2-ish. And then my husband said, I'm going to start this gym. And I said, brilliant, because I want to find an environment whereby I can work out and there are like-minded people. And then the gym grew as a result of that. And then I came on board and started working with him. And our education around food as well evolved. It wasn't, we were straight away, this is what we know about food. And I would never advocate that this is what you should do or shouldn't do. It's more about, okay, these are the things that I've done and these are what things have worked. And that's what I want to make it clear. I'm not here to give you advice about what you should do or shouldn't do, but these are the things that have worked for me. And hopefully that's what's going to come across in this podcast. These are the things that have worked for us. There might be other things that have worked for other people that have worked just as well, but this is the story about what we've done. And so then I got really into my fitness, and it was at the time when CrossFit was just about starting. If anybody's not heard of CrossFit's about functional fitness. It's using a lot of weights, slam balls. And again, that kind of shift was coming over. And it was actually around that time that I met Sarah. We were going to the local council run gym here in Northampton, and we were just in the same classes. That's really how it was. And she was friendly, very friendly to me. And then we grew. And then actually Sarah happened to be one of our first ever clients when we started in a field at the back of a Tesco's. In a pouring rainy day. Wasn't it? Rainy day.
Yep.
And so, that's where and then my journey to being more aware of fitness and how things like weight training and the use of resistance as well as cardio, because for a long period of time it was just go out and run and do cardio exercises and jump on cardio machines, and actually that's pretty boring. And I was like seeing all these fun, exciting things like CrossFit working and thinking, oh God, I want to be in that environment and I want other people to be with me doing that thing. And so that's really how the gym evolved and began and grew into what it is today. So, as I said, this podcast is about sharing our own journeys. It's about sharing the tips and things that we've done, and the stories and the experiences and things like that we have been through to go through our own way. So I'm going to interview both Sarah and Matt today. Not interview is the wrong word, but to have a chat with them about how they have gone through their journeys. So Sarah, okay, so I'll just let you know, I am 45 now. When we started the gym, I was, 40, about 30, 34, 35. So in my mid-30s. And again, a lot of the ladies that have been with us now for a long time, they've grown with me as well. They've aged with me as well. And so, again, things have changed for us in terms of what we're able to do so much. And, what I could do when I was 34, I'm not necessarily able to do now that I'm 45, or less of it anyway. Or I changed my training to fit around more about how I see my body changing as I'm aging. So, Sarah, how old are you?
I am now 51.
51, okay. And when were you at your heaviest?
So 2015, I was at my heaviest at 17 stone 7.
Okay.
And that's the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
Okay. And prior to that, what had led up to that?
Yeah, so like you, 3 children. And with each child, I got heavier and heavier, tried to lose, never did, had another baby, got even heavier, and it just progressed like that. Like you, Alex, I tried every diet out there that you could possibly imagine.
Any with any success? Any of them?
Yeah, so I've done the Weight Watchers, sort of fell off the wayside, put it back on. But my biggest change for me was in 2015 when I had the hip replacement. I've had a hip replacement, and the consultant said to me when I had the hip replacement done, because I was heavy when he did it, I was surprised they actually did the operation actually, but they did. And he said to me, to prolong the life of your new hip, you need to lose this weight.
Did they give you a figure, or did they just say?
He didn't say you need to lose X amount. He just said you need to lose this weight.
Okay.
And to me, because I was so grateful to be out of the pain that I was in, I'm like, I want this hip to last me, and he was like a god to me, this guy, consultant. And I took him at his word, and I did it. And I did it with Slimming World initially.
Okay.
I lost 6 stone in 9 months.
Okay.
Initially.
Okay.
So
it went from 17 down to about 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One slimmer of the year.
11 and a half. I got slimmer of the year. Yeah. I did. But yeah.
So they did the operation previous to the weight loss. The weight loss was about prolonging it.
Yeah. So I was heavy, and I think that probably added to the reason I needed a hip replacement. I'm sure the pressure on my joints, I think it made it a lot worse. Okay. And speeded it up. And that's why I was so young to have a hip replacement.
At that point, how much exercise were you doing?
So, like you've already said, Alex, I love exercise. I've always loved it. I've always been active. Even when I was bigger, you'd still find me in
body
gym.
Pump, body combat.
Body pump. I loved it all. And I would be doing 3, 4, 5 sessions a week. I loved it. That was never an issue for me. My problem was what was going in my mouth, food, the nutrition side. So,
okay. So before the hip, had you stopped doing exercise?
I did in the run up to the operation purely because my mobility, I couldn't do as much as what I was doing or wanted to do. Okay. So that did sort of taper off a little bit.
And then after the op, when did you get back to exercise?
So the big thing for me after I'd had the op, the best thing you can do with a hip replacement, they told me, the physio said, I'll never forget it, he said, walk, and when you've done walking, go and walk some more. Okay. That's your recovery. That's the best thing you can do after a hip replacement. So I did a lot of walking.
Okay. And then when did you come back to... So you joined Fit Body Ladies in...
2012. 2012 I joined. Obviously, I went off, had some time away when I had the op. And I think it probably was... So I had the op in the July. I don't think I came back until about the following February into a session.
Okay.
I was just doing walking. And I was recovered enough by then to come back in and do some sessions.
So that was 2016?
Yeah.
And then you were there with us for how long before we approached you to be a coach?
Oh, yeah. About another year. 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. And then you became a coach in 2017?
Yeah.
What weight were you then?
So I had obviously lost all that weight. I was probably around 12 stone at that point. Became a coach.
Yeah.
And
how were you feeling about your weight at that point? How were you feeling
fab.
over it? Okay.
Loved it.
So
Loved
12
it.
stone, you were like, yeah, I'm
because,
fine.
And I'll say this now, in my head, I never believed I deserved to be slim. I always had this thing in my life, all the ladies in your family are big, you're never going to be slim, we're not meant to be slim, this is you, be happy for you. And I sort of, that's ingrained in me and stayed with me.
Okay, so you'd had that
throughout
your...
all my life. So 12 stone to me was slim. And I loved it. And I felt fun. I did feel fantastic. Yeah. I was wearing about a size 14.
Okay.
And I felt great. So
Working out.
Hip
was good.
My hip was brilliant. And I got my dream job.
Yeah.
So I became a coach, which was fantastic for me.
Okay, so that was 2017.
Yeah.
3 years as a coach. Weight stayed the same, or did it?
So I think becoming a coach was probably, I became a little bit complacent.
Okay.
I think I'm kind of like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, you've done it now. You're a coach. You're not going to need to worry anymore. And that's kind of, I think, led to me. Well, I did put a little bit back on, but the big thing for me was the pandemic.
Okay.
That's when my weight went back up.
And do you think that was related to your mental health?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what, loneliness or?
Yeah, kind of like, I think now looking back over my life, I'm an emotional eater.
Okay.
And that's how I cope.
Specific emotions or? No.
No. Happy, let's eat.
Yeah.
Miserable, eat.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing for me. So, and that's where I went then back up to, so we were locked down in March, didn't we?
Yeah, lockdown in March.
By the June, Stuart took a photo, my husband took a photo of me. We were out walking, he took a photo. I'm leaning against a tree and I was horrified. And I looked awful and I went home, stood on the scales because I hadn't been I was like, didn't care. We were all on holiday, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I was back up to 14.5 stone.
Okay.
So I'm creeping back up to where
towards
I was, the heaviest I've ever been. I'm like, no, I can't do this. And in actual fact, the lockdown then, this got me through the lockdown because this was my focus and this was how I got through it. I focused. I did a session on Zoom every day. I went walking every day.
Tracking.
I did a 1,000-mile challenge online. And for me, the lockdown, that got me through the lockdown.
So you turned the negative.
I turned it on its head.
Okay.
And that's how.
And what things do you think you could like because obviously there'll be other people who, it might not be the pandemic now, but there'll be other scenarios in people's lives. You know, death is a big one.
Yeah.
Divorce, all those sorts of real traumas.
Yeah.
What do you think, or how do you think? What was it specifically then? You went from, oh my God, right, this is traumatic. How am I going to turn that round? What am I going to do? What were the basic things that you did, like daily, just to say, I'm not going to focus on the negative, but I'm going to focus on turning this into the positive?
I just thought I need some kind of routine. And I got myself a little routine. So every day I'd get up and do the 6 a.m. Zoom. Because Stuart was he was working from home as well. So we had each other as well. We'd go off for a walk and then I'd come home or I'd pot around the house. He'd go and get the shopping and it worked for us. So that's how we did it.
Consistency.
Yeah, the routine and the repetition helped me.
Okay.
So,
okay. And what did you lose in that period?
I did my best ever then. I got down to my lowest ever weight. I was 9 stone 13. Never been 9 stone 13 since I think I was at school.
Okay.
Honestly.
So in your head, right, okay. So thinking about all the things that have been said to you throughout your life by family members or whatever. Yeah. When you got to that 9 stone 13, did any of that come back in, or did any of it kind of go to, did you think to yourself, I'm over that now?
Yeah. So I did kind of have moments where I thought, oh my God, you know, I'm 9 stone 13 and what are people going to think? But then I thought, do you know what? I deserve this.
Yes.
I've worked for this. I'm happy. I feel fantastic. I'm ignored. And I think that comes with age as well. I think as I've got older, I care less now about what people think about me. Whereas when I was younger, a young mum, oh God, you know, I was worried. Definitely.
Okay. So you're more comfortable in your own skin.
And I think that's definitely, if I could tell my younger self what I know now, it'd be so different.
So what would you tell them?
I would say to them, just do you and be happy and be kind to yourself, because I never was. So
okay. And do you think that then led to you not being kind to yourself, led to more of the, oh well, I don't need to be kind to myself, so I'll just eat.
Yeah, I don't deserve it. That honestly, and sad, that sounds really sad.
No,
but
I think you're not
my
alone.
Truth. That definitely. That's how my life was. So, and also, I've got to mention my husband Stuart. As much as he didn't help me, because he never said, "Come on, Sarah," for my health.
Yes. Okay.
He I love you no matter what. And that doesn't help. No. As much as they're lovely and they mean well, and it doesn't help.
No.
So I had that as well. I needed a little bit of tough love, and I probably would have knocked him out if he did say it.
But as a result of you doing it, then what did he do?
Oh, he went on and joined Fitter Body Men, and he lost 2.5 stone, and he's the fittest he's ever been. He looks amazing. So it's been a win-win for us. Okay. So
that's good though. That's good, and And, I would have thought that there are lots of women out there whose families have said things throughout their life. They don't mean to be.
No.
But
it's never meant.
No, it's never meant in a nasty way.
Yeah.
But like you said, people say,
people were trying to make. They were trying to make me feel better.
Yes.
Because I was bigger, and they were trying to make me feel better. And in actual fact, it was having the opposite effect because it didn't make me feel better. So, yeah.
Oh, well, look.
Yeah.
So, update on the story now then. So, let's tell everybody where you are now.
Yeah. So now, I got down. So 9 stone 13 was not sustainable for me.
Okay.
I couldn't stay there. So I crept back up and I settled around 10 stone 3 and I managed to stay there for the best part of a year.
Yeah. You were looking. Not that you don't look good now, but
yeah, definitely. And I felt good and I thought, this is where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
I've stayed here. I'm maintaining it. It's working. I've got a good balance of my exercise and I could eat more because I was exercising, whatever. Anyway, when I had my first hip replaced, the consultant did say your other hip needs replacing. But because it wasn't causing me any pain, he agreed we're going to leave it alone.
Yeah.
And it's actually lasted me since 2015 when he said that until this last year. It's been causing me problems. Okay. So it's actually lasted better than
what's that?
7 years. So it's causing me problems now, and that's had an effect on obviously my mobility's gone. I'm having to use a stick now to walk. I can't do the sessions that I want to do, although I am trying to do what I can for my mental health more than anything else. And I've put on about a stone, so I'm about 11 stone 3, 4 now.
Okay.
But I'm okay with that because I know it will come again.
Yeah.
So
food wise, how are you trying to? Obviously, as coaches, we all talk about our own food, and we're sharing kind of things that are going on. How are you trying to kind of keep a track of that food?
So that's the key for me. When I track everything that's going in, that's when I have my most success.
Okay.
It's if I don't track and things sort of slipping in, like
bit
not
cheese,
tracking,
bit this, half a mince pie.
That's when I have problems, and then it has a knock-on effect because then you think, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's sort of for me for the last, I'd say 2 or 3 months, I've kind of let it slide a little bit. Mm-hmm. Hence why I'm now
back on
about a stone heavier than where I want to be. So
okay, but that's honest.
Yeah,
it's where you're at.
Yeah.
So look, we hope we'll follow the journey of the hip.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've hopefully got a date in Feb. Hopefully, fingers
crossed. They've told me they are prioritising me because of my job and my age, etc. And they've said February. Although I'm still awaiting confirmation, so we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Maybe this podcast will promote them.
You never know. You never know.
Get it done. No, that's great. It's lovely to hear. And again, there will be lots of people out there who are experiencing. It maybe not be hip. It could be another injury or whatever. Yeah. So it's great to be sharing that. And as I said, we'll follow that journey throughout. Mm-hmm. Monet, right? So let's have a chat with Monet. Okay, so. A little bit younger than me and you, isn't she?
Just a little bit.
So, Monet, okay. Introduce yourself. How old are you?
I'm 29 years old.
29, right, okay. So she's a little bit younger than me.
30 this year, though. Big 30 this year.
30 years. You can eventually join Fit Body Ladies. Okay, so current weight, what is it, roughly?
142 pounds, 64 something
so
kilograms.
10 stone-ish?
Just over?
Yeah, 10 stone-ish?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your heaviest?
170 pounds.
And when was that?
2020.
2020. So 170 pounds is approximately 12?
Just over 12 stone.
Over 12 stone. Okay. Had something led up to that? Specifically?
Yeah, I hadn't been well. It wasn't COVID or anything like that, but that weight went on within about 6 weeks. And by that weight, I mean that was like 30 pounds of weight that went on
real quick.
Yeah, really quick. It was horrific.
Okay. And then after your illness, you began what sort of what kind of things did you do then to begin that kind of weight loss? Because 30 pounds on that quickly, hopefully it should come off that quickly.
I feel like everyone wants to try like crazy diets and whatever else, and obviously I was already a PT by that point. I've
Okay.
always kind of known what I was doing from a young age anyway. So it just shows it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are and whatever, it just happens. Life
because
gets in the way.
Previous to PT, you as a younger
Yeah,
teenager,
I used to compete and stuff.
That's
So
right.
food has always been like fuel.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't like to eat when I'm sad, when I'm happy,
Okay.
But obviously in that case, it was just, I think there was obviously being ill, COVID, being stuck at home, so many things going on that it just, and you don't realise sometimes until you're like, yeah, like when the damage is really done.
Yeah.
I just took it simple, and I know it sounds silly, but so many people underestimate, obviously, just walk in. Just
Yeah.
my thing
Yeah.
was get out,
Yeah.
walk,
Yeah.
track your food, drink your water, like keep it simple.
Yeah.
I think so many people try to overcomplicate
Totally.
it and they burn out within.
Yeah.
So my thing was 28 days,
Okay.
which sounds silly. It was July. It was like 28 days
Of
to
just
make
this.
some good habits. And this is before I was even with Fit Body. So I've
Yeah.
always been, that was my mindset of it. And yeah, that was my thing. Just get through this month. And yeah, just knock off whatever you can. I think I did about £10 in that month.
Perfect.
And that's kind of the first bit that just went down. No, it was 21 days actually.
21 days.
Yeah.
And prior to it, when the weight was on there, how were you feeling at that point? Were you just like,
Disgusting. And
It's
I
a
know for some
horrible feeling,
people,
isn't it? It's a
and I
horrible
know,
feeling.
I know, like not to be dismissive, because some people will go, "Well, 12 stone isn't a lot," but for somebody who has never been, that like my joints felt that,
Yeah.
everything felt that.
And it's
I
all
was
relative anyway, isn't
yeah,
it? So
exactly.
to
So,
you,
and that's
so-
not to be dismissive of anybody
No,
else,
of
because for
course.
some
No.
people they're happy with that, they're comfortable with
That's
that. My body ached.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable. I was miserable. It was a really, really bad point in my life anyway. So my mental health was already suffering, and I was like, okay, so I need to do something for my mental health and
Yeah.
also for my physical health. So that's literally just what started it. And then I think halfway through, so I dropped off just over 20 pounds, which is a stone and a half in 90 days.
Okay.
And halfway through
good.
that 90 days, I started coaching for you
Good.
guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
Okay.
it kind of hit around the right
The right sort of time.
probably, I think, yeah.
Okay. And the food that you were eating, would you eat anything particular, or was it just literally tracking? Like, I'm literally, this is how many calories I should
Yeah.
eat, or were you saying, right, okay, I'm gonna eat, I'm cutting these things out? How restrictive did
The
you
only
get?
thing you'll find me cutting is pizza. I don't cut anything out. I don't
cut anything out.
So, no. I literally was just like, I will allow myself to have things,
Yeah.
but instead of, like, my thing, it was really bad. Like, I used to be like, oh, I'm going to have a snack at night. But it wasn't a snack. I would have to have, like, 5 things, and I would carry them up to bed with me. I'm talking like a tub of ice cream, Ben and Jerry's. We're talking
Yeah.
daily calorie allowances. Like, it would be an excessive amount of snacks I was taking, but I just cut that back a little bit. That's the only thing, but I still had it because that's my thing. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
snacks
yeah,
in the
I like-
evening. That's who I am. But it was just being more mindful of the things that I was eating and paying more mind to things like my protein and stuff like that I knew was obviously going to help me. But obviously, especially when you're in that situation, it was a family environment, so we're all still going to eat together.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a 5th meal of the day. So it was just being more mindful about my portions and just making sure everything that was going in my mouth was getting tracked and written down.
So when did you get to your so after that, so 170, when did you get down to the kind of where you wanted to be? 90 days.
I didn't. I didn't get
no,
down to
okay,
no.
okay.
I
Where
think
you felt a bit,
I
like,
think the thing
comfortable.
is, yeah, that was when I hit. So the 90 days, I dropped it down, and then I think a month later, I was kind of just, I was all right, a couple of pounds down, maybe after that, and I was okay. Like, I wasn't miserable,
Yeah.
and I wasn't really that bothered about what happened after that. So I was kind of like, you know, I think we all have a big goal, don't we, that we set ourselves, and sometimes you can get down towards it and then suddenly realise, actually, a bit like you say, it's
Yeah.
not always sustainable,
Yeah.
and sometimes you're not bothered, and it's about your shape and how you're feeling and everything. And I think I got to that point of, I was happy, I was quite content with what I was doing, I could work out better, and that's what was important at that
And
point.
I think, again, as you age as well, that whole weight thing becomes like the thing in this country, we're governed by, how much do you weigh? And actually, for me, as I've got older, weight has become such less an issue.
Yeah.
It's how well do my clothes fit, and what do I feel like when I look in the mirror? There's always bits I want to change. You know, I'd love to have a tummy tuck and a little bit of baby fat sucked off there or whatever, and a big, boobs put back on my chest and things like that. But the reality is that actually, if I'm wearing a size 10 to 12 and I feel good when I go out, or when I'm wearing clothes that aren't a PE kit, actually,
A PE.
It is, isn't it? It's a permanent PE kit.
It really is.
then rather than saying, oh well, I weigh 11 stone or I weigh 12 stone, it's about.
See, the problem for me, I don't know whether it's because I've done it so long all my life. I struggle to move away from the weight.
Yeah.
And I try, but I always
It's definitely
go back.
a mind thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, I know I used to be the same,
Yeah.
as in get on the scales and oh my God.
Yeah.
Whereas now, we all know I don't care. I come in,
Yeah.
I weigh this much.
Yeah.
I weigh that much. I gain weight and I laugh about it.
I wish I could be a little bit more like that. I struggle with that. I am really, really led by the number on the scale. Really.
See, I think that what happened to me when I got down to the lowest I got was over 9 stone 13, and that was I couldn't sustain it. I can probably sustain where I am now, which is around about 11 stone, without really having to change much in my day-to-day living.
Yeah.
So I can go have a drink at the weekend if I want to. I can eat a bit of chocolate if I want to.
You can live.
I can live my life and not feel. And I do, I do train hard.
Yeah.
But. And I don't do it because I think, oh, I've eaten that. Because there are some days when I think I can't be bothered to train and I'm still going to have a pizza for dinner or whatever. But again, I think what's happened is when you get to that point where your life is relatively, like, my life is quite steady as well. And I think actually when you're content and you're, you then can look at you can put the clothes on that you like wearing and you go, oh, actually I look okay and I can do this. The number for me has become less. It's become so much less important.
I think
it's
it changes though, doesn't
guide.
it? That's what I always say though to the ladies and stuff. It's a guide. That's all it is, and it doesn't reflect on who you are or how. And so I had a little boy in 2018, and everyone's like, "Oh, so you must have gained." No, I literally gained baby and everything else that comes with it. I was back down to my pre-baby weight 2 weeks after I'd given birth.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds great. I looked awful because your body shape has changed so much. I was the most miserable and probably bigger then anyway than when I'd gained weight because I couldn't dress. I didn't know how to dress. And that's the biggest thing for me is that I know that at different weights, like it just varies. There's been points where I've been heavier but looked better because I've been lifting or my goals have been different. Then, at that weight, I was bigger. Nothing fitted right. I looked odd. I used to cry because I was like, nothing fits. I'd go into shops and be like, what?
Well, I don't think they design clothes for women really very well in this country, do they? I mean, like,
it's go in one shop.
If you've got a big thigh, then it means you've got to have a massive waist.
Yeah.
And if you've got a smaller waist, you're supposed to have skinny thighs. And actually, it doesn't really.
And your bum, God knows where your bum's going to go.
I haven't been able to buy jeans that fit in the longest time. Like if
I'd never wear jeans
on,
because I just don't.
That's why we wear leggings all the time.
Yeah. PE kits. No, that's great to hear stories, and it's good because again, things are the same but different depending on where you are in your life. You go through certain things that impact maybe your weight or your lifestyle or what's going on, and so therefore you're either focused or not focused. But again, it's like you said, being consistent. I think if you can be consistent with whatever you're doing, whether it's walking, whether it's working out, whether it's tracking your food, whatever it is, those consistent getting those habits means that you can stick to them for a lot longer. And if something comes up, you become more resilient. Like something major happens.
I think that's the thing. It's like when people are like, oh, I won't do this now because so much is going on. I'm like, if you can't do it now, you'll never be able to stick to it.
That's so
like
true.
If you can do something at the worst point in your life, then you can, And I think that's the thing. If you can be like, okay, I can do, and I'd rather more, but if you can do 2 sessions a week, if you can get up and go for a 20-minute walk each day and you can stick to that, well, you're going to smash it when you're absolutely back to being normal. And that's it's not about what you do when things are good and everyone's looking. It's about when people aren't looking and when things are bad.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a quick chat about then Christmas, how everybody got on, what their food was like, their drink was like, and then what they're planning to do maybe in January, just so other people kind of get an idea. So I put on around about £3. I was all right with that. I did drink, I did eat plenty of chocolate, and I ate a lot of beige food. My plan in January is to go. I'm going to come off the drink for a month, even though it's my birthday next week.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I know.
I'm literally putting money on this with someone. No,
I do
you
love
can do it.
I do
You
love a
can do
wine.
it.
I do love a wine. I do love a wine. If I lose any weight as a result of it, that's fine. I'm not really focused too much on changing my food. I have got a bit more of a focused program in the gym, focused on increasing my strength and my powerlifting over the next 4 weeks. I've got a little plan that I've put in place for myself. I have also had a trainer in the past. I currently don't have one, but I have had a trainer in the past. But I have got myself a plan over the next 4 weeks, which I'm going to be following to increase my strength, increase my muscle mass, and hopefully drop a little bit more body fat. But nothing too crazy, because as I said, if you try to do a million things all at once, you'll set yourself up. It's
For
just
failure.
more about
failure.
Yeah.
exactly. It's doing 1 or 2 things over January that actually just help to support where I want to be in maybe 6 months or 12 months time. Sarah,
So Christmas I gained 3.8 pounds.
Okay.
When I first stepped on the scales, I was absolutely horrified, and I think I put it on our little group and nearly had a meltdown. But actually, I'm okay with that, and I've been tracking, and obviously it's different for me now with my hip issue. I'm just doing what I can, and I'm at peace with that.
Yeah.
It took me a long time, because you know what I'm like. I just love training and getting in there, but I've accepted to do what I can, and I've lost 3 pounds this week.
Yay!
So
Well
I've
done.
nearly lost my Christmas gain in a week, so I'm really happy. For me, January, I am just going to focus on tracking my food.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose loads of weight. I'll be happy to lose 3 or 4 pounds prior to my op, and just continue doing what I'm doing with my little sessions that I do for myself, and I'm happy with that.
And
So,
hopefully get a date.
and hopefully I will get a date. Yes, fingers crossed. So yeah,
Cool.
all good.
Monet?
I gained like 0.8 of a kilogram. Compared to Sarah, I was fuming. I thought, I haven't done Christmas right.
Haven't you? Oh, you wanted more.
She wanted
you wanted more.
more.
I did £10 one Christmas, okay? I was kind of aiming for that. Okay, maybe not that much, but I was a bit shocked. I thought it was going
Did
to be
you eat
more.
bad?
Define bad.
Okay. All right.
Beige.
Do you do a lot of beige food?
pies.
Did you? See, I didn't even have a mince
Oh,
pie.
I
I've
did.
still got a- I
Disgusting,
love
controversial. I
love
don't
mince
care. They are
pies.
vile.
And Stollen. Oh my
The way she's looking
God.
at me.
I love Stollen.
Oh, so do I.
I love anything.
Yeah.
I literally was eating matchmakers for breakfast before coming to work. Like I was eating a lot of chocolate. Like that was, yeah.
Did you keep your training up?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Don't
that's,
be jealous.
that's-
No, but it was different. My mind was just there. I wanted to.
Yeah.
But there's been years where I haven't wanted to, so I haven't bothered.
No.
But it was just one of them things. I think when
that's
you're
obviously paid off. Then,
when you're on it
hasn't
and you want to, you get in and get it done, don't you?
Yeah.
So
I trained a bit. I didn't train as much as I normally would.
No.
And
I
then
think it's just different now that, because obviously I have tendon damage in my left knee and my hip's been a bit funny, and I did my back in a couple of weeks ago. I've just been upper bodying, and I think it's just been okay and doing a bit of rehab here and there with lower body stuff. And I think it's just been okay. Just keep going with that. It just keeps me on track and
yeah.
keeps my mind in the right place with it.
From a mental health point of view as well.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
Well, January will be an interesting one. We've got
Yeah.
a lot of new ladies starting, so the messages I'd give out to them: be consistent,
Yeah.
track,
Track.
Track.
track, and more track.
100%.
And ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Ask
in
no
doubt,
No question is stupid.
Don't feel like
Yeah.
you're being stupid. It's all relative, and we can help. We like you said in the induction. If we don't know,
Yeah,
we can't help. So
Can't help.
we
I
need
think
to
it's
know.
also about learning that
Yeah.
this is not about being perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing.
None of
I
us
think
are perfect.
Everybody wants
Yeah.
to do this thing where they start tracking, they have what they consider is a bit of a bad moment, they stop tracking that
Yeah.
day. Just put it in. I mean, I'm tracking a lot higher because I've got different goals now, but even if it went over, I will just put it all in
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're not going to learn from it if you
Yeah,
don't.
no, that's right.
And
You need
coming
to be
in and
honest.
pretending to me that you're eating toddler portions every day, but nothing's changing, nothing's going
Yeah.
on, and it's no,
No.
I can't do anything with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
yeah.
thing is, that's right. You only ever cheat yourself.
Yeah.
I remember like way back when doing like Weight Watch. So it used to be the point system. I don't know what it is now,
I
but
did the
you
point
did
system.
point system, and you could just like you'd go, oh yeah, that's only this sort that point, and actually it probably was like
Yeah.
3 or 4 points. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
well it
yeah.
says it's
Yeah.
I'll have that one. So I think you've just as long as you're writing it down and being honest, there's nothing. You'll know. You'll start to learn.
See.
You'll
That's
start
how
to
you'll
see.
learn.
That's what I said to them, didn't I? You will start to see your habits and the things that maybe you need to shift before you even need me to tell you.
Exactly.
And that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, as much as, yes, PT in your pocket, if you need us, contact us, I am not always there. I'm not always there to hold your hand. I can't always be as much as I would love to. So you have to learn to do it for yourself. Exactly. It's accountability.
Yeah.
As much as I can try and keep you on track, you have to have a little bit of that.
It's got to be
yourself.
Who do you think kept you the most accountable then? Do you think that was yourself, or do you think, like, when you were doing weight loss?
Me.
What about you, sir?
Me. And share, for me as well, I like to share, and that makes me accountable. Maybe people don't even look and see what I'm doing, but in my head, the fact that I've posted or shared it, I'm accountable to someone, anyone, and that's what works for me. Putting it out there.
I do agree with sharing, though, to be fair. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me when it comes to sharing.
It does to me.
I used to not share, though. I used to be really like, oh God.
I'm a lot more honest. I'm a lot more honest these days, because I know it makes a big difference to other people. But when that happens, it's like, obviously, with the photos that we share. When someone else will be sharing their photos, but that in turn makes me go, wow, okay, I really need to stick at what I'm doing, because it does make a difference to, and that's not to be like that, but it just makes you realise that actually you're doing well, you're doing good, and it's making other people do the same. I love to see other people win.
I do.
I think that's why we're in this job, aren't we? So
I mean, people's success for us is just like so.
It's a win for us, isn't it?
And that's just like it's amazing to watch. And then again, you know, the core values that we live by at Fit Body Ladies, teamwork. So we do work as a team, whether that's us or the ladies in the group. Recognition. Love to recognise people's achievements and inspire, whether that's the ladies inspiring each other or us or us trying to inspire them.
Ways,
exactly. Exactly. So I think that's, So look, I hope that today's podcast has been informative. You know a little bit more about us as a group, and you know, we'll come back in a couple of weeks and have another chat with you all.